Yes, yes, yes. Hello. We'll do this interview in English, of course, as all our in the Instagram chats. Today's guest will be Joy Vera from Armored Saint. We will do an Instagram live chat with Joy Vera, the bass player of Armored Saint, who will speak to us about the new album Punching the Sky, as well as any other Armored Saint related things or any other of the projects that Joy has. I guess we're all in. Hi, Joy. Can you
Sagas.
hear me now? Oh, okay. I can
Oh,
hear you. That was quick. You are a man of modern technology.
no. I don't know what.
No, no, but it's really simple, and I'm glad that that everybody so far can deal with it, and it's very easy to connect with each other.
I
So
know.
it's yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me
So
first that it's good to see you again.
yeah, it's great to see you again, and it's far greater the fact that in 15 days time we have two great records with you playing on the new Armored Saint album and the new Fates Warning album. And
Yeah,
I must say that both albums sound great as a
great.
teaser to all the people that will join and will say that again later uh, because I have already received a lot of questions, but we will focus on the Armored Saint album right now because it's
Great.
the one that comes out earlier. So we should
Yeah.
focus on the Armored Saint album, and we will speak perhaps with Ray about the new Fates Warning album
Yeah.
in a few days time again about
He'll be
that.
better. He's better to talk to about it anyway because he's wrote the songs with Jim and then
Yeah, yeah.
he'll have. I'll
But
just
you,
I'll just be boring to everybody about it.
yeah, but you have written almost all the Armored Saint stuff, is it so? Once again.
Yeah. John and I have kind of, I guess, become a really great songwriting team. We really see eye to eye on a lot of things when it comes to songwriting and making music and our ideas and stuff. So we have just a kind of an unspoken connection that has been working for the last 15, 20 years. I mean, like, longer than that, obviously, but as a songwriting team, two people. It's been a really great experience, and I think that we are really proud of what we've done again this time.
Hmm. Um, First of all, what does the album title "Punching the Sky" means? I think it's open to many explanations.
Yes, and that's really what we want. We want anyway is for people to have to draw their own conclusion or uh, you know make their own decisions about what it could mean. I mean, I could tell you what it means to me,
Mhm.
and I think the band in a sense. But it conjures up so many different things that you can really think of it literally. Raising your fist in the air. Like success or I'm winning or literally in the song. It's from the song "Standing on the Shoulders of Giants," which is the first track on the record.
Yeah.
It kind of is used in a literal sense there, in because the song is about perseverance and getting through obstacles in life and growing and surviving, I guess.
Hmm.
And so it's used in that sense of like, I'm succeeding, I'm doing it. But when I was reading the line, it conjures up so many different things. You're right that you can take it in a lot of different ways. So once we decided to call it Punching the Sky, and I saw the artwork that we were going to use, I started to think about that maybe it meant that it had a more of a connection to the band in what our intentions have always been for a long time, and that is to just keep growing and expanding and going further and beyond than where we were in the past, um, becoming better songwriters or better musicians or people, fathers, husbands, whatever, brothers, just evolving and getting, just going beyond what was there before. So Punching the Sky is sort of like saying the sky is not the limit. We want to go beyond that and just keep going and further and further and further. So to me, that's the connection that I was drawing from it once we decided to call it that. But like
Mm.
you said, you can look at it in a lot.
It's open to many explanations, and
Yeah,
after listening to the album, then you get more and more things. Um, I I have gathered a few questions that have people have asked me about this chat, and I must say that whoever joins in can write down a question, and I will ask Joy about it because it's not going to be only for the album. It's more of a general one. But
sure.
um, um, a few weeks ago it was the anniversary of March of the Saint, and I realized that it's about 4 decades that you started creating music. So
Long
what
time.
is different? Well, long time, yeah, long time. And what is different now in terms of making a new record? I mean, the experience, the expectation of an album, the reason why you create an album. How has these things become different than they were when you started writing music back in 1982 or 83,
Yeah.
when it's
Well,
37 years
yeah.
ago?
Well, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are different. I try to keep it short.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
well, for one thing, look, in the beginning, you're so young. We were literally 19 years old when we were writing March of the Saint. So, not very experienced in writing music, not very experienced in recording, not very experienced in anything at all other than, uh, you know, kind of experienced in smoking pot and drinking beer. But other than that, we're still figuring it out. So, you know, uh, the process at that time, it was also very different and a bit, adolescent. Um, One guy has a riff, you play the riff over and over and over again, and then some guy has a second riff and you play that over and over and over again. And it's very time consuming, and you're lucky if you get a new song, in a week. So the process was very different then. We were five guys in a band together in a room and driving to rehearsal together, driving home together, the whole experience is completely different. It was new, uncharted territory. And there's something really beautiful about that. Um, that's just comes out of being young and adolescent. You don't know any different, and there's a little bit of naivety that goes into that. And so there's a beauty in that. You can never knock that. It's where we got our start. The way it is now is it's much different. We've been doing this for so long. We've written a lot of music in the past, and we've done the process so many times. Um, we are in a place now where we kind of don't really need to make a record unless we feel like it. What I mean by that is that when we first started out when we were kids, we had dreams of making it, and then
Making
we
an
got
album tour.
yeah, we got signed early, and we had a record deal. We put out our first record by the time we were 21 years old. our first record on a major label. So suddenly we're in this business and we're in the machine, you know. People start putting their hands on you and they have opinions about you and they want to try to guide you commercially, you know, all kinds of stuff. Something we'd never experienced before. So then you find yourself caught in the machine. You make a record, you do press, you go on tour, and then the label says, okay, no more sales, so go back home and write another record, and we'll do this all over again next year. And you get caught in the cycle, right? So that's fine, and we did that for many years. But where we're at now is that we're not in that cycle anymore. We we are in a place with our record label and with each other that we don't want to be in that cycle. We kind of, I used to say this when we first got back together in 1999 to make Revelation. I used to say that we were treating Armored Saint almost as a side project because at the
Hmm.
time John was still in Anthrax, you know, I'm still in Fates Warning and several
Yeah.
other bands. um,
Yeah. You
you
cannot
know,
stand still. Okay.
no, but I think
But
the point we were trying to make was that you know, when we were growing up as kid, I mean, and young adults, and we were making March of the Saint, Raising Fear, Delirious Nomad, like Armored Saint was like all or nothing. It was everything, 100%. All energy went there. Nobody had side projects. Nobody did anything else. That's all it was. It was everything 100% for that band. But when we got back together for Revelation, we said, well, we already did that. You know, we spent 12 years, you know, slugging it out, trying to, you know, further our career and make it, you know. And for lots of reasons, we didn't get there. So we said, let's when we get back together and to make Revelation, we're going to do it for the same reasons that we started when we were 19. Let's just make it for the love of music because we love playing music together and we love making music together. That's all it's going to be. So no more, you know, we're going to go to the end of the earth for this band, no matter what it takes, you know. So that's a very different mindset when you go in to make a record nowadays. It's like
yeah.
we truly have the support from our label, Metal Blade, and they say, yeah, you whenever you're ready, you know. And so
Yeah.
for us, it's a great feeling of freedom to be able to work this way. We can say to ourselves, let's just make a record when we really have something to say, and no other time should we be making
Hmm.
a record. So that sense, I think I think that this is giving us a sense of really a real authenticity and genuineness that is really coming from us when we really have been inspired enough to say to show you musically what we want to say. So that's the vast difference between what we when we started and where we are now.
Do you feel that you compromised back in the 80s? In which kind of compromises did you do during the 80s mostly
You
in
know,
order to get the machine rolling?
yeah, I say the only real like kind of trouble spot was when I bring this up a lot is when we were making Raising Fear, um, and it was because of the we found ourselves in this a little bit of a quagmire, if you will, because when we started out, we came up in the ranks of the new heavy metal in the United States in 1982, 1983. We were part of this thing that was growing, that was becoming huge. But then by the mid to late 80s, you started to see different things splinter off. You had the thrash metal scene, then you had the hair metal scene, you had Hollywood and the glam metal thing, and then a few years later, death metal was coming out, and we kind of felt ourselves like with a little bit of an identity crisis. You know, we used to wear the armor on stage, right? And I think that it really confused a lot of people in the audience. Like, well, are these guys, what are they about? Are they about all the image or are they about the music? You can't be about both. And we wanted to be about both, but we found that it was turning people off. And then we were like, well, we don't care about the image. It's really all about the music anyway, which is why we got rid of the armor.
So
Um,
you went just Saints.
yeah,
You were
exactly.
just Saints, not Armored Saints.
But I think that it's, the record label even caught wind of this sort of disparity, and, they wanted us to be more radio friendly. And we were like, what? That's not really what we do. And so there was a lot of confusion, I think, was happening around 1987. And I think that that's really the only time it compromised what we were capable of. And that's for me, like, that's why Raising Fear, me personally, is probably my least favorite record. And I know I'm pissing a lot of people off because some people discovered us on that record and that's their favorite record. So they, and I
But they don't know
sympathize.
what was behind. They don't know
Yeah,
what's behind that record.
I mean,
That,
don't get me wrong. There are some great moments on that record. I will admit that. There's some great songs, great moments, some amazing guitar player from Dave Pritchard. So I'm super aware of all that stuff. But I just think as a whole and a whole vibe and the whole where our heads were at, unified wise, it was a kind of crooked record. um,
yeah.
so that was the only time I think that it really affected us being involved in this big machinery. That's the time that it left a little mark.
Yeah, uh, there are already some comments saying that the armors were great, and it was they everyone can understand, can get that it's about music. But I already had a question from a guy named George, uh, and it has to do with the armors. Would you make a video like "Can You Deliver Again"?
Probably not. We already did it once. We don't want to do it
Yeah,
again.
but yeah,
Yeah,
but would you revisit the Can You Deliver Armors in a video just to make it, kind of cult
perfect.
nowadays? Do you think it would be awesome to connect the beginning of Armors and now 40 years later?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it would still fit me, especially around the waist. But um, we actually did. We did. We did a show. It was for Metal Blade's 30-year anniversary, 35-year
Yeah,
anniversary here in Los Angeles at the House of Blues. And nobody knew about this except for the band, but we came out. They had a curtain at the time, so we came out for the first song. Curtain opened, and we opened with "Lesson Well Learned" from the first Metal Massacre EP. I mean, first Metal Massacre record,
yeah,
and we were wearing armor. We were wearing the armor that we wore back in the day.
fantastic.
And John and I had wigs, so we had the long hair and we had
Okay.
and everyone in the crowd was like, "Oh my God!"
They're
It was
back. They're back for good. Yeah.
it was great. It was so much fun, but that was
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's. I mean, and one off time and one off gig or one off video. I mean, that's for one off. It's just fine. I mean, I
yeah.
have to tell you that the first Armored Saint show in Athens, um,
The club,
club.
was
Yeah, the sweaty club over there, down
downstairs.
there,
What was
downstairs.
it?
Yeah.
Say the
An
name of
Club.
it.
It's called An Club.
Oh,
It's called An Club. Yeah, I think
right.
it's one of my top five live experiences ever.
Wow.
I wouldn't even imagine that I would have such a great time
Wow.
down there. That was absolutely amazing, and
Yeah.
there
I mean,
was late Michael Turner with you, and I always remember this show with some special feelings.
yeah,
Uh,
so do we. We talk about that often, the band does. And we were super excited, and I had built it up for the guys too because I had already been there with Fates Warning.
you've been.
But I was like, dudes, wait till we play Athens. You're gonna freak. And so, um,
Yeah,
I had no idea that after the gig, everybody was like, holy, what the? What the hell
Yeah,
just
yeah,
happened?
the hell just happened. Yeah,
Uh,
that was that was for the fans too. I mean,
well, yeah, it was
okay,
big.
I wanted to see Armored Saint. Okay, and
Yeah,
we hang out together a few hours before the show.
yep,
Okay, we had a couple of beers. Okay, let's watch the show. And
yep.
when he appeared on stage, it was kind of what am I watching now? It was a life-changing experience. I mean, it was both sides that helped the thing going. It's not only the
Absolutely,
band, it's the crowd as well. So it was a perfect mixture back then.
absolutely, absolutely. It
Um,
was a perfect
yeah.
storm.
hmm And uh, back to the album, you used the same team with as in Win Hands Down, which uh, I have to tell you that it was voted in Rock Hard Greece as the record of the year when it came out, and was my record of the year as well. So we have high expectations from the new album as Rock Hard in Greece. So were you afraid that it might somehow sound the same as the previous one using the same team?
No,
Hmm.
I knew that it wouldn't because of the direction that I was going with the production value and also the songwriting, also plays a part of that.
Hmm.
So I wasn't worried about that, and that wasn't the reason why I chose the same guys to work with. Um, a lot of people would ask me over the last couple of years, when are you going to start writing a new record? And I was like, I don't, in a little way, I say when I feel like it, but,
Yeah.
but when I feel inspired enough to do it. I don't want to do it unless I'm feeling genuinely into it and inspired. So, um, I never wanted to look at it like I had to live up to Win Hands Down. People would say to me, "How are you going to outdo Win Hands Down? That record was so good at such a high bar." And I would say, "Don't say that to me, because I can't work that way. Like I need to prove myself in some way. There's no way I'm going to approach this new record with any of that in my mind. So I have to wait till the dust settles and then say, okay, I have a clear head now and I feel inspired, and now let's start writing and see what happens. And so when it came time to the production side of it, I enjoyed the way that practically that we made the last record with Jay Rustin mixing it, and with Josh Newell helping with the drum recording, and Bill Matoyer with the guitars and bass. And so I said to myself, I want to work with these guys again because I trust them. I know that their work is going to be great, and I want them to be my kind of unspoken co-producers in a way along the way. I don't have all the answers. I want to have people that I work with that I have a great relationship with, that I can
Yeah, and you
trust.
trust them. Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
So those are the reasons why I went with them. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I want it to sound the same as Win Hands Down, because I knew it wouldn't in the end. I knew that it would be something different, and it would be its own animal. And I made sure of it. And I don't think it sounds anything like Win Hands Down, other than it does sound like Armored Saint in the same way that Win Hands Down does. So in that
So I think the connection is down. So we have to wait until. Okay, okay, that's okay.
Sorry
Okay,
about that.
no problem. Yeah,
I got someone else buzzing me here. I have another interview in 10 minutes, but we're fine for now.
yeah. Okay, so let's speed it up a bit, and ask you another question done by a
Sure.
guy. So back in the 80s, did you have the same opinion? Did you share the same opinion with John Bush, where he declined the position of Metallica frontman? Uh, and he thought that Armored Saint would become bigger than Metallica. Did you share the same opinion with John back then?
Well, I don't know if I thought in those terms exactly. It was more about like, we had an agenda the same way that all bands have an agenda, and that's to, you
Mhm.
want to be successful, you want to be popular, and you want to work your way up to the arena, you know. So we were no exception. We wanted that too. Bigger than them, I don't know if that was ever a conversation that we had, but.
Yeah.
Um, we wanted to be successful, sure. I mean, we were all in that same frame of mind. Absolutely.
Hmm. Um, would you change anything from your previous albums? I mean, the recordings, the production, the promotion, the photo sessions, anything. Uh, would you change anything now that you are in a distance?
In terms of the
In terms of
promotion?
anything, I mean, in terms of the photo sessions, in terms of the recordings, in terms of songs, is there a specific song that you cannot afford to listen nowadays?
Well,
It's funny when you revisit your past albums. You surely find yourself saying, "How did I do this thing back then?"
yeah,
But you were inexperienced. Okay,
yeah.
there's always
Oh,
an excuse about that.
oh yeah. I mean, how much time do we have? I have a long list of mistakes and things. No, no. Look, I'm joking. Look, let me first say, like, before I say anything, let me first say that I'm a strong believer in that you need to make mistakes in order to grow and to become better on the other side. So there's no way that you could have a life of just complete bliss. You made the perfect decision every single time. You made no mistakes anywhere. You did everything right, and then you ended up in this perfect nirvana place, and you're just the perfect person. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not life. That is not reality. So, you know, there's not a lot of things that I would really change because we're happy. I'm speaking for me personally, but I think collectively I can speak for Armored Saint as well. We're in a great place right now, and we're really happy at what we're proud of what we've done, even mistakes included, and all the things that we did right and all the things we did wrong. Because in the end, we're pretty okay. In the end, we turned out okay. We're not mass murderers. We're not. You know, we're alive still, and there's a lot of good things about it still. Um, we felt like we made a great record. I mean, there's a lot of things for us to celebrate. So, okay, let's get that's out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
How was
like,
I think that you have written the songs over a course of time of more than a year. So I don't know how the pandemic has struck you. How's the pandemic made it difficult for you to record the album, to promote it, to plan it?
not much really, to be honest, other than the fact that we can't go on tour now, and we don't know when we can either. But to be honest with you, we were finished recording by the time Los Angeles got shut down. So we were already finished and done. The only thing that wasn't done yet was mixing, but that's done over internet anyway. So I mean,
Yeah,
Jay and I share files over emails anyway. So that didn't really affect anything. The release of the record wasn't affected. We did talk about for 5 minutes. We talked about, should we hold the record? Should we hold it until this thing blows over? This was back in April. We had this
yeah.
conversation, but then it was like, you know,
This
why?
thing won't
Hold,
blow.
yeah, hold it for what? Hold it. When is this going to blow over? This isn't blowing over anytime soon. What are we? Who are we kidding? So
Yeah.
we felt like everybody's in the same boat right now. Everyone's stuck at home working. Hopefully, people still have jobs. Um, People can't go anywhere. You can't gather in public anymore with crowds. What else is there to do except to be home? And if you're lucky, you listen to music. So
You're
music is
alive.
yeah. So people, I think our fans are going to want to hear this now, not later.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to hear this next year. They want to hear this now. It's available now. So let's get it out now. So
Hmm.
we just, we made all those things. Uh, we made all those things necessary to keep the record on schedule. The only thing that was a little weird was doing photo sessions at first, and the videos that we shot are done, carefully. Everybody wears a mask, and then until you have to turn on the cameras and take the mask off, and then, you know, so there's
Yeah.
certain things that are surmountable, but nothing really has been preventive other than the playing live situation.
Yeah. And having worked with Jim Matthews, file sharing and sharing files through the internet, it's very easy for you because Jim was doing that before the internet. So
Yeah,
being in,
yeah,
being a part of Fate's Warning and having exchanged tapes with a post office, I think that's a piece of cake now for you with with the
yeah.
internet sharing big files.
Yeah, and and I was lucky in that I was really busy when the pandemic hit. I mean, I know a lot of people lost jobs, and some people, lost family members and stuff. So a
Yeah.
lot of people had it really bad, and I'm aware of that. So I consider myself very lucky that I was at home anyway, and I was working from home anyway. And as soon as I took the sessions over to Jay Rustin, um, the 2 days later, I got an email from Jim, and it had, okay, here's your first two songs, and
Yeah.
time to make
So
Fates Warning record. So then I went straight into Fates Warning world for the next 6 weeks, and I just recorded. I recorded all my parts here at home for Theories of Flight as well, and I
mhm.
think also for Darkness
Darkness
as
and
well.
Different Light.
I did the last three records by myself at home. So it was no different for me. I had a lot of work to do, and I got lucky.
Yeah. Uh, my friend George asks if you want to make any comment on the U.S. election that is about to happen in a few weeks. Is it about to happen? Nobody knows. With
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
the recent
exactly.
things that with
We
with
don't, yeah, we don't know what's happening. I don't really, you know, I don't really like to share political
yeah,
opinion
political views. Yeah.
with
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
band.
I totally understand. What can you
Yeah,
reveal us to us about the new Fates Warning album?
you
What
know,
should we expect of that?
it's hard to say what you can expect. Everybody has their own kind of perception of the band and what they kind of want to hear from the band and what they think they're going to hear from the band. Um, Fates Warning is a little bit in the same as Armored Saint in the sense that every record that they make is a little bit different than the one before it. And so I think this one is no exception to that.
It's
This
different,
record's
yeah.
different than Theories. Um, the production is different. It was mixed by Joe Barisi, which is, um, he brings a whole different kind of,
More
I want
modern
to,
approach, I could say.
well, it's
Uh, uh,
modern in a sense, but he's also a very organic producer, and so he is bringing something very organic to this, which is kind of a cool breath of fresh air. Um, and the songs, there's a few songs that are, of course, super proggy and impressive.
yeah,
So those fans will be excited. But in another way, some of the other songs, there's a lot of simplicity involved, and a lot of some of the songs are maybe on the shorter side. Great melodies from Ray, great lyrics from Ray. Jim wrote some amazing music and great songs. So I don't know. That's kind of the broad stroke impression I think that I have from the
yeah.
record anyway.
And a lot of music. It's more than 70 minutes long.
Yeah, we
Lots
were
of songs.
we were talking about, what should we do? It's a long record. We were gonna cut it down shorter, but all the songs are great, so we just kind of said, just put it all out there.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's okay. How much time
Why
do
not?
we have more? How much time do we have? Any more time about that? I don't want
We
to
can do
have
one
the
more.
other. Yeah, just one more question. Just because as a friend over here says, are you the first person that when session bass player is asked by Metal Blade, do they recommend you? So you have played in so many projects. So I would ask, would you do a project entirely different than all the groups that you are in right now? Would you play another kind of music, for example, a funkier kind of music,
Yeah,
not just a heavy metal?
sure. I would. I mean, I'm not. I'm first and foremost a I'm a rock player. I mean, that's just my DNA, you know. But I have always listened to, and I enjoy playing, you know, more sort of funkier R&B music. So that would be the one thing maybe I would do is play in a group or on a record that was a little more like strictly funky R&B and like not hard rock in per se, but just a funky R&B record. I would love to do that because I think that's part of my fabric. I tend to even approach all the things that I do in that way. There's a lot of stuff that I play in Fate's Warning, which you wouldn't really expect, but I approach it from a funky point of view sometimes. Sometimes it's too much for Jim, and he'll tell me, like, dude, too funky, bring it back, too funky. But he lets me get away with it sometimes, and I enjoy that. And so I think that if there was one thing, I think it would be that. It would be I mean, I've done other things. I've done a country record with Pearl Day, who's the wife of Scott Ian, and she
Yeah,
has a solo
hear that.
career.
Yeah,
She did a record, a great record, and and it's kind of straight up country. It's not like not in the sense of like the Nickelback kind of country, but it's more like it's traditional kind of early California country, and and it was a lot of fun doing that. It's totally different for me, but it's in within my realm, you know. So to do a funk record, that would be a blast. Actually, I think that would be a
yeah.
lot of fun.
That's why I mentioned that particular kind of music because you seem to funk a lot when you play bass. Even though even if you don't play funky rhythms on your bass plate, it
Yeah,
seems that you get the
yeah,
funky rhythm. You have the
it's true.
funky rhythm on your show. So thank you very much for this live chat. It was a blast.
Thank you, man.
Uh, it's very nice to see you on my mobile phone. As
Oh,
I don't know when we will meet each other again
I
for the
know.
last house. Hopefully, it will be in 2021, and
No.
both with chain and page warning. Who knows?
Yeah, me too, man. I have to
But
say, I really miss Greece. I mean, it's as you know, we've talked about this before. It's one of my favorite places in the whole world. I have many friends there, yourself included, and the people are so awesome, and I just love the lifestyle there and the vibe. I really miss Greece, and I can't wait to go back. But this has been great. It's great to see you, and it makes me feel
it,
good. You know, we've been locked up here, and to at least see some of my friends overseas is great. So thanks for doing this too. Really appreciate it.
thank you very much, and we're very lucky to have your music released in a few weeks' time, both
Yeah.
with Armored Saint and with Fates Warning. Thank you very much. Wish you a great
Thank,
weekend.
thank you, Sakis. Have a great
Thank
one,
you very
man.
much.
Be
Enjoy. Bye
safe.
bye. Thank you. Thank you.